In a world that no longer exists except in distant memories and faded photographs, come the true stories of growing up in the 1950s in small-town America. A Country Boy's View brings those tales to life in the tradition of such classics as The Waltons, Little House on the Prairie, and Stand By Me. These stories of mid-century life in rural Virginia are packed with humor, insight, and a love for life. Photographs may fade, but you'll never forget A Country Boy's View.
When I was 8 years old, school days dragged on. Reminded me of that old saying, "A watched pot never boils." But each day eventually did end, and by late afternoon we finally got home. I say finally because our bus driver, Mr. Doak, never drove over 20 miles per hour, thus earning him the nickname Slowpoke Doak. It took about an hour or so. Slowpoke Doak in appearance had a liking to Abe Lincoln, with about as much personality as a toad frog. He just never understood how important my getting home was in trying to salvage what was left of an otherwise wasted day. February 2nd, 1951 was my third birthday. I recall it as vividly as a morning sunrise because Mom and Dad got 2 hogs for the farm and claimed they were my birthday present. I later figured the birthday present thing was a convenient excuse for getting the hogs and not a well thought out birthday gift. Supporting that notion, they named one Hetty and the other Anna. Coincidentally, those were the same first names as my 2 grandmas. I never heard before or since about anybody else getting 2 hogs for their birthday. Horses are as different from each other as people are. Something like girls. Just 'cause they're pretty don't mean they got good sense. Take my horse, Lady. She liked to play hard to get. I had to corner her up to where she couldn't run off to put the bridle on her. Once that was done, she was gentle as a lamb. That behavior also applies to some girls I've known. Out the back door of our farmhouse was a bird feeder. The old farm cats used to hang around the back door because that's where we fed them. I was in charge of the bird feeding. It was pretty easy most of the time, except after it snowed. There always was 10 times as many birds at the feeder as usual. That was good. What was bad was you could always count on a bunch of nasty old blue jays hogging the feeder, keeping the other birds away. Well, I solved that problem. When I was home alone, I'd go upstairs to my sister's bedroom facing the feeder. I'd open the window, and with the .22 rifle, I'd pick them off the feeder one by one. The cats learned my trick real quick, so I didn't even have to go out and dispose of the evidence. It took me better than 30 years to return to Clifton. Our old farm was sold and divided into 5-acre estates. Where the corn shucks once stood and the pumpkins once grew sat BMWs and Mercedes. The town itself hadn't changed too much. The old hotel had been renovated and was open again. The magnolia tree was still in Mrs. Buckley's front yard. The train track was the same as always. You know, it's a crying shame some people don't realize what they have until they no longer have it. Clifton is still in my heart. And like the red head on a woodpecker, that ain't gonna change. And I don't want it to neither.
Based on the book From a Country Boy's View by Mike Foley. Produced and directed by Don Tepper. Coming soon.